half. That's a way to start a show.
Aw. Hey, thanks everybody for finding the Geek Spot. Happy Monday, episode 186.
Yeah.
We're closing in on 200. We'll hit 200 by the end of the year.
Maybe.
Unless you have hockey games.
Hockey starts up in late August, early September, so we'll see.
Damn it. So thanks. I think I already saw Dom, Charles. Thanks for already joining the chat. I'm Jack. That's Frank. Frank's going to talk about his pet and other people's pets and all of the pets.
Yep.
He matches your beard.
He
Can't
does.
tell where you begin and he ends. Wait. Yep. It's like one long.
That's weird.
You should do that. We should work on that. We can get your beard trimmed into the shape of a crypto.
Let's do that. Yes.
I agree. That'll be on my list of things to work on for us. So obviously, there was a movie that came out. We're going to spend a bulk of today talking about that. Before we get there, we got some of the normal business to get out of the way.
Yep.
As always, you can check me out, jackkidmusic.com, see where I've been, see where I'll be. Frank, how about you? Was it another hockey-filled, exciting week, or has it slowed down a little bit for you?
One game a week right now.
Oh, it's good.
All of my teams are knocked out of the playoffs. All of them. All of the other three. One lost in a championship round. Here I am doing this like I'm a news guy. I had one in a championship round. I had one knocked out in the second round of the playoffs, and then another knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. So yeah, it was a shitty end of the hockey.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know what? And then I got the Thursday league, and that's the one with the Star Wars shirt. So that's, I think we're 1-2. But
good.
The real season doesn't start until the playoffs, right?
That's what they say.
No, but otherwise, normally on Wednesdays, you can find me at the Island of Relevancy with our buddy T, talking about wrestling. And oh boy, do we have a lot of wrestling to talk about this week.
Yeah, there was a whole thing yesterday, wasn't there? My Netflix was trying to tell me something.
There's a whole 2 days of wrestling.
Or was on Peacock.
One thing we don't talk about, we really don't get into the AEW side of stuff much. We kind of focus on WWE. But WWE had their NXT premium live event, and then they had their all-women Evolution premium live event, which was a fantastic show. I can't wait to talk about it.
Oh, well, I'm excited for you guys to get the opportunity to talk about all that.
Me too. What about
Me, the other guy, the one over here. Yeah.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I was reading a text. No, I know you had stuff. You're actually close Friday that I might try and sneak over for. Oh no, you're in the afternoon, aren't you?
I'm 4 to 7 Friday. Little early happy hour.
That's a little rough. My boss is in town from Texas this week, so that makes it a little bit harder to do things.
Yeah, your boss will love coming out to happy hour on Friday and then a little early, getting some nice food at Dog and Bull. That's what it's all about.
I feel my stomach starting to hurt on Thursday, so
yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah. So you look, gigs and union games. I was the game I tried to go to on Wednesday last week made it on the CBS this morning and
nice
all over the news because it was a U.S. Open Cup game that was postponed from July. I want to say it was the 9th till August 13th.
Was that the rained one? The one?
Oh yeah. Where there was the monsoon happening in Chester, PA. I was watching cars get bottomed out.
Nice.
All sorts of excitement. That was one of the 2 games they played against the Red Bull last week, the New York Red Bulls. So had another one of those Saturdays, so we went to that. Had a gig down at Wildwood. Had a gig. I don't even remember where it was. Friday, Exton, I want to say. This week I'm all local all week. I got a gig at the Philly Zoo Thursday, so
Oh, that's got to be fun.
Yeah, sure. So all sorts of good stuff. Got another union game Wednesday.
You're playing with the monkey bots?
Sure.
Get it? Monkey bots?
Yes.
Hashtag shit something.
Super shit.
Super shit.
Yeah.
Right, Hudson?
One of the more family friendly components of the movie we're going to talk about in a little bit.
Look, Charles met Christopher Judge. Christopher Judge is one of my favorite guys. He was in Stargate SG-1. He played Teal'c. I absolutely love Christopher Judge, and he's also the voice of Kratos in the God of War. The last, I think, like 2, maybe all of them.
Yeah.
Has it been all of them? Yeah,
all the ones he's talked about.
He was the bad guy in House Party 2. He was the bad guy at the Pajama Jammy Jam.
Got it.
Right, T? You're gonna appreciate that. I hope you appreciate me going all the way back to House Party 2, T.
Was Sinbad in that one?
Sinbad was not in that.
That was House Guest. Sorry, that was House Guest that Sinbad.
That was House Guest. Yes, I appreciate the fact that you went back to Sinbad and pulled House Guest out, because that wasn't a bad movie.
No, it's great. Is him and Kevin Pollak? Was it Kevin Pollak?
Now I gotta look.
Now you gotta look. Now you don't know. You don't know anymore.
No, I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
It was not.
Who was it?
Hold on. I gotta
tell me.
Phil Hartman.
Same thing.
Well, is it?
I mean, I could have said John Lovitz and said same thing. They're both on News Radio.
In hot water with the mob over an unpaid debt, a con man poses as a family friend in an affluent Pennsylvania suburb.
Yeah, I gotta watch that again now. I didn't realize it was probably close to home. We gotta revisit. It's probably in Doylestown.
No, Paul Ben Victor, I know him.
Yeah.
Stan Shaw, I know him. Jeffrey Jones, wow.
Oh, maybe we can't watch it then.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like I said,
time waits for no man. That's my boy. I was waiting for that. That's my boy.
You can catch up on all that stuff at jackkidmusic.com.
Yes.
So we'll dive right into stuff.
So before you get to all the stuff you've watched, because I don't have any other news except Superman stuff, I want to get the list out of the way while Dom's still here and all the people are still here before you chase them away with The Office. Thank you, Dom.
The Office is going to be like seconds.
That's great. I'm going to get the list out of the way because this is a controversial list. Anything listed the 20 most important TV shows of all time, and in parentheses, number 1 is undisputed. This needs to take a few minutes because
I feel like that's not possible.
This was
they haven't met me.
This is from nope. This is from Ben Sherlock off of Screen Rant, and it was published 7 hours ago.
Great.
So here's a fresh list.
Let's go, Ben.
We're going right in. At number 20, Game of Thrones.
Okay. That's fair.
Okay.
That's the top 20 of all time. It changed television.
It did. At number 19, Star Trek, the original series.
Okay.
I can put, that's fine there. Yeah. That's fine.
As long as it's the only Star Trek thing on here, it's fine.
I don't know. This did not look at this list ahead of time.
Deep Space Nine might be above it on this list. We don't know.
I don't know if that really changed. It changed Star Trek, and it changed how they told. But anyway, number 18 is Oz. This was HBO's first original hour-long drama series. Yeah. I don't know if that's low on the list for that.
No, that's a good spot for Oz because it changed it, but it's been done since. Never as well as they did on Oz.
I did not watch Oz.
Oh God, it was so good. So you'd be shocked at how many people you know that got.
Oh no, I've seen. I've seen. Oz. There's a lot of
got the bone on Oz, whichever way it worked out for him.
Oz. Lots of butt stuff from what I hear.
Yeah.
A
lot of J. Jonah Jameson doing things to people.
Yep. At number 17, and I believe this is a little low, Saturday Night Live at 17. That's low.
It's low for SNL. Though,
gotta see
SNL changed so it did change it, but there's only been 1 or 2 real copycats and nothing that has touched it.
There was a TV show that only got 1 season that I was a big fan of. Studio 30 on the Sunset Strip.
Oh, with Chandler.
Matthew McConaughey and
Nope. Perry.
Matthew Perry. And Bradley Whitford.
Oh.
It was a really good show. I enjoyed it. D.L. Hughley was in it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I knew who was in it. That's all.
Only like 9 episodes, and then they canned it.
Yeah.
At number 16, again, very low, Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Depends on what's ahead of it. So far,
I don't have any issues with what is on the list so far.
no. Number 15. Okay, so we're gonna include miniseries. This is TV shows, so
Okay.
I guess miniseries include
Is it the
Roots
Thornbirds?
at 15. Low.
It depends on what's above it, but
Yeah,
I think Roots changed the conversation. I don't know how much it changed TV.
this is the original too.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
the 1977.
With LeVar. Yeah.
Number 14, MASH. That's low. MASH was special.
Yeah, I think
That was all.
14's not an awful spot for MASH. Like I said, I'm intrigued to see what's above these things so far.
Number 13, Doctor Who.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
That might be low for Doctor Who.
This has it from 63 and then to 89.
Oh, so the original run of Doctor Who.
This is the original run. This
Oh.
is back in the Baker years.
Yeah.
Channel
Yeah,
12.
I'd say it impacted how
Okay.
how sci-fi was done, but
So-
not more than Star Trek, I don't think.
I don't think so.
Not until the reboot in 05. Then it really
Right.
overtook, I think, Star Trek as a global
So
phenomenon.
so far, the only show on this I have not seen even a little bit of is Oz. I've seen everything else, including number 12, the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
It's a safe spot for Mary Tyler Moore. Might need. Well, we'll see.
It was on all the time at my house.
It's
My
on
mom
Nick at
loved
Night.
it. Yep. No, never. At number 11, I do not know this show, The Prisoner. It's an all mystery box show.
I did not know The Prisoner.
So this says every mystery box show from Lost to Orphan Black owes a debt to The Prisoner. This quirky story of an unnamed British intelligence officer being imprisoned in a mysterious coastal village after quitting his job left audiences delightfully baffled with tons of questions they couldn't wait to have answered. The Prisoner is a timeless masterpiece of Kafkaesque.
Yeah, it looks like it ran in 1966 to 68.
Yeah.
And it was a British series, so it makes sense why we would not have seen it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'll stay. At number 10 is a show near and dear to everyone's heart, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Oh, that's low.
Yeah.
I mean, that
I would
changed children's programming
It-
100%.
I would think that goes hand in hand with Sesame Street and even the Electric Company, right?
Yeah, I think that they were set up by Sesame Street. Definitely empowered the Electric Company to do what it did. As did the Mickey Mouse Club. I mean, was on those early days too, before any of us remember.
Number 9, this one's going to be a little bit of a controversial pick, but All in the Family.
I think that's
I will
low.
tell you, this is one of my favorite shows growing up. And I didn't know what the hell I was laughing at, except it doesn't exactly hold up to today.
I think it does.
A little bit.
No, I think it does because unfortunately we all still know an Archie. Like everybody still either knows or is related to somebody that is still like that.
That's true.
I mean, look, if you look at how old they were, it totally freaks you out.
And it absolutely changed sitcoms. It 100%. That ran for 8 years, 71 to 79.
Yeah. Yeah, look, it 100%
It does hold up. Okay.
changed and now they did. I don't know if you watched the remakes they randomly did.
Did not.
No, they did like the one episode one-offs.
I saw
Where Woody Harrelson played Archie.
Was it any good?
It was neat. They did a stretch of like 4 or 5 shows. I want to say they did All in the Family. I want to say they did the Jeffersons.
They did the Jefferson. I remember when they came out, and I was kind of like, "Oh, this is stupid." Why would they do
I
this?
watched them. They were great. It was interesting watching through a modern-ish, and it's
Gotcha.
been 10 years now, but like a modern-ish day lens and keeping it
Okay.
the same.
At number 8, Breaking Bad. Is that low, or is
That's
that
high for Breaking
about
Bad.
high? Okay. Different Strokes and Facts of Life. They also did. He said. This is.
I didn't watch those. I watched the first one they did when they did two, and I think it was All in the Family of Jefferson.
I don't know what Breaking Bad changed. Is it one of the most important TV shows of all time? I mean, it's talked about in the same breath as one of the greatest TV shows of all time, but is it one of the most important shows of all time?
Yeah, I don't think I think it deserves to make the list because it changed the way that we watch as far as perspective wise. It made the villain okay to be the protagonist.
Okay. Fair.
Which we hadn't really had on TV.
Right.
And the style of storytelling was definitely something that was different.
At number 7, Monty Python's Flying Circus. That was a British sketch show.
100%. I think that's a good spot for Monty Python.
Yep. Number 6 is a TV show I did not watch, Twin Peaks.
It's high for Twin Peaks.
On the list, but too high?
Yes, because I think it did change it, but it was another one where like people couldn't ever figure out how to emulate it. So it was revolutionary, but nobody copied it because they're not David Lynch.
Right.
So like you can't really.
I never watched it. I know there was a big like aura surrounding it, and people really like.
Yeah, well, look, Who Killed Laura Palmer was like the Who Shot JR.
Yep.
Of its time, and it was just so quirky and weird. But it captured kind of the zeitgeist at the time. But again, I don't know that it changed.
Not so much change, but is it an important TV show? Like,
yes.
Okay, but maybe a little lower on the list. This might be a little too high. All right. See, I watched Who Shot JR, and I watched Dynasty, and
it was Good Times. They did. It was All in the Family and Good Times.
Okay. Number 5. So hitting the top 5 now. I Love Lucy, 100% in the top 5.
Yes.
Might even be a little bit. Might even warrant a little higher, but absolutely in the top 5 of all time. One of the most important shows of all time. Let me see. Number 4, The Sopranos. That's way lower than I expected it to be.
No, I think 4 is a good spot for The Sopranos.
It's a good spot. And it's absolutely an important show because what you said too earlier about the making the protagonist. This did it before that, right? Or was this around the same?
I definitely did it before Breaking Bad, yeah.
Because you loved Tony Soprano, but he was an absolutely evil piece of shit.
I mean, he was just a good family man trying to raise his family and support his sanitation company in New Jersey. Frank, did you watch a different show than I did?
No, I don't know how to reply to that. Number 3, Twilight Zone, the original Twilight Zone.
Yeah, that's a good spot for Twilight Zone.
Good spot for Twilight Zone. Number 2, The Simpsons.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah.
Yeah, we're still going from 1989.
Yeah, which is wild.
And the number 1 most important TV show of all time. Any guess?
No.
The show hasn't been mentioned yet. I've only seen 2 episodes.
Seems like a lot for you.
Well, I should. I mean, this show spawned so many of today's stars. The Wire.
No.
Not as number 1 most important.
Love The Wire, but out of 4 seasons, 1 season was amazing. The other 3 were good.
That's what I always hear. What would you put? Would you put I Love Lucy or even The Sopranos at number 1?
I would put them above The Wire for sure. I'd put Oz above The Wire as far as changing the game.
Yep.
The Oz is not undisputed for sure. The Wire going there.
Did they actually kill Marge, or is this another one of those we're going to show you what happens in the future because we're running out of stuff to do stories?
It's probably this week, and next week she's back. Like it's not. I mean, The Simpsons isn't for the most part.
Well, they killed Bo Diddley's wife off, right?
Who?
Ned Flanders.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched The Simpsons since like 90.
I haven't either.
Maybe.
I thought I saw that this was kind of like them Like they've already showed the end of the show or what, some stuff like that, and then it's so far in the future. I don't know. I mean, you've been on the air for 30 years now, 30 some years, is it? 89, 99.
According to them, it's a flash forward.
Okay.
Where a viewer saw a future where she died, but not meant to be taken as canon.
Gotcha. Maud Flanders.
Thanks,
Thank
Chris.
you. I thought it was Maud, and I didn't want to like misspeak. How's the Golden Girls
kind of
not
what
on
we do,
that
though.
list? I do. But that's my list, and I think that was actually a pretty fun list. That was one that we actually kind of mostly agreed on.
Yeah, look, until they threw that wire curveball in there.
I told you, it said this one is undeniable.
Yeah.
Or indisputable or whatever. It's very disputable. Thank you.
And honestly, the biggest one I think that's missing off there, because I think South Park did just as much to change television as The Simpsons. So South Park, I feel like would need to be in that top 20 somewhere.
I agree. I used to watch episodes of that we would download offline when I worked at AOL back in the late 90s. We would download the episodes off the pirate ship and
wow,
watch them in the tape library room.
The show I'm really happy was not on there.
Who?
I'm really happy that The Office didn't make it on there.
All right.
So
you know what? That is called a segue, is what that is called.
So and because I'm so glad it didn't make it on there, this is going to be like the fastest burn through of The Office that we've ever had.
See, that ain't even funny. You can remember House Party 2 and the quote from House Party 2, and you go date me with what is AOL? You're an evil man.
Like their email still works.
I know. I know some people that use it for business reasons.
So The Paper, the sequel to The Office, to sneak some news in here.
Yes.
Is premiering on September 4th.
Yes.
So my goal after this week, because I knew we had plenty of other things to talk about this week that I could blow through this damn show, is to line up where I finish this so we can be fully up to date for The Paper premiere in just around 7 weeks. So I have to do the math and see how many episodes I'm going to have to knock out a week here. But I will figure out how to make it happen so we can get there.
I'll tell you what. I have 3 days until my one of my most anticipated shows of the year comes back. In 3 days from this podcast, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds comes back for season 3, and I'm so ridiculously excited because they're giving it. They already renewed it for season 4, and I believe season 4 is going to be the end, and then they're supposed to. What is rumored is they're going to lead right into the original series with the cast. So,
okay.
There's a rumor that they're going to do that. They've already introduced Lieutenant Spock, or I'm sorry, Lieutenant Kirk. So there's hopefully they do something like that, because this show has just been such a breath of fresh air for Star Trek.
Good. I'm glad that I have not partaken yet in
It's
that.
good.
So
It's
15.
good.
So I think I have 39 episodes to watch. So it is going to be like a 5 a week burn, which is fine.
Man, that's going to be rough. There's some really, really rough episodes that come up.
They haven't even gotten of rough episodes,
haven't even gotten to Florida yet.
So
What?
we got through. So this week, and Dom, you don't need to go anywhere. It'll be quick. So there's Pam's replacement. With an awful cold open.
Oh, which one was which cold?
This was Andy trying to let a client know how important he was.
Oh, God, it was horrible.
And Aaron came in and was like, "Your mom died and was in a car accident," and he had to go with it because then Dwight came and backed her up, and then Daryl calls him to pretend to be the police officer.
Yeah, but Daryl was so pissed about it.
Yeah, look, Daryl's right. Like, that was messed up. It's fine.
So
And then the whole episode is just Pam trying to figure out why Jim thinks that the hot girl that's taking her spot is hot.
Do you know how much hate she got?
Who, Pam?
No.
Or the other one?
Lindsay Broad is the girl that played Kathy Sims.
I don't, but I haven't really seen it yet because Pam hasn't left the damn show yet. Counting the minutes until she's off there. I mean, they even get to the point of going, and I remember the blood pressure things. Speaking of Dom busting on us for AOL and 5 cents a gallon of Blockbuster.
Sure.
5 cents a gallon's way before any of that, Dom. And Blockbuster was way after AOL. But
Yeah.
yeah, you
Yeah.
mix and match in there. Next, we'll start Kazaaing and lime wiring things. It'll be
Hey,
not Pirate Baying or wherever you pirate shipped.
I pirate ship stuff.
So look, but the old school blood pressure monitors that they tried to use as a lie detector, which clearly didn't work,
Yep.
because
You
that's
have
not
to
how those
share
things
the
work.
machine. You have to share the machine.
And then all the drummers and the musicians playing, and Robert California coming in and being a solid harmonica player and taking the spot in the band. It was whatever. It was a burner episode.
Mhm.
No, nothing really great in there. And Dwight had the line where he was like, "It's important to go to the doctor every month and have him check your prostate." That seemed excessive. Or he was going to show Jim how to check it himself, which could have made for a totally different show.
Mhm.
And as soon as I saw the drummer that showed up for the band, though, I was like, that looks like that drummer from that viral video from 15 years or so ago.
Mm.
And it was
Mhm.
from the drummers at the wrong wedding gig where he's doing all the fancy. Yeah.
Yep.
That was fun seeing that guy. Other than that, like not big music, could have been big musician cameos. It was not. Just random people that never heard from again.
Correct.
And then we got Gettysburg, which I only have like 5 lines of notes on. Because
There's
the episode was such a waste of time.
such an awful episode.
They went to, so Pam keeps faking going into labor because she's an awful person, including stuffing water bottles up her skirt to
That was funny.
squeeze out to make it look like her water broke.
That was great.
But it gave all the examples of how awful she is and just uses her unborn child as an excuse to get out of any kind of conversation like a human being. And then we continue to realize that Kevin's an idiot. Robert shows up and loves his idea for something, and then Ryan goes through and proves that Kevin's an idiot. Gabe gets mistaken for Link and goes on a whole monologue, and nobody cares about Gettysburg, including the people watching the show, was my last note there.
DM does GB. The hat? Come on.
Yeah, it was bad.
DM does GB?
I know.
It's great.
Is it?
It was a bad. It was a couple of bad episodes they had.
Yeah,
in a
look,
row.
and I forgot to watch more because I was so disgusted after those two. So
Oh,
that's the extent.
You're gonna hate the next episode.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna, like I said, I'll do the math and actually break it out. I think it's like 6 or 7 episodes a week. I'm gonna have to burn through them. So, if they're all that bad, it'll be a quick segment on the show every week, even with that many episodes. Other than that, couple other things that came out, and then we'll hit to the big Boy Scout. As Chris mentioned earlier, Murderbot's getting a second season. First season, soup to nuts, was fantastic. The last episode was a little out of character from the rest of the show for me, but I think did a great job setting up season 2. So I'm really good that it. See, Tom, I wouldn't leave you hanging for long. I'm glad you have re-entered the chat now that we finished the office stuff. But Murderbot all in, like I'm telling you, it is like such a fast binge. It's like not even 5 hours to get through the whole show, which is shorter than the first half of Sandman season 2.
Listen, I'll get there. This is a busy week for me with the new Destiny content coming.
You're gonna love it.
Like,
you're gonna watch
gonna
2 episodes. You're gonna see. So
I might dig into it after the show.
But there is a Star Trek-esque space soap opera running in the background as a plot line that is amazing, with Clark Gregg and John Cho and Jack what's his name
Bauer?
from 30 Rock?
Bauer?
Yes. No, not Jack Bauer from 24.
I know who you mean.
Yeah. Whatever his name is. But it's so
what
good.
A Lovely Tea Party, that guy?
No.
Oh.
Huh?
What?
No.
Jay and Silent Bob? Ooh,
Yeah, I know that, but that's that's
Oh, that's
Dietrich Bader.
Yeah, never mind.
No, it's gonna
line.
drive me nuts trying to remember what his name is. But anyway, yeah, the Murderbot. Everybody, just go watch it because you won't regret it. It is such a quick, easy burn, and it is so in the vein of everything that we talk about, and especially for Trek guys, it is fantastic.
After wrestling tonight, I may start that. I really don't have any video game stuff to do tonight. So
Jack McBrayer.
Yes.
So like all of those answers were like close to each other.
Oh, okay.
He was the page.
Yeah,
on
he
30 Rock.
plays Penny's drug addict brother in Big Bang Theory. Drug sales. He sells drugs. He looks normal. He doesn't look all wigged out. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, but look, just go watch Murderbot. Poker Face wrapped up, another great show. Everything, just go watch that too if you have time. And Countdown's just being like a cop drama. It's great. And Stick is almost over, I hope. But I'm sticking with it to no pun intended there, but to get through the rest of the season to see how they do. The writing is, it's all over the place on that show. Like one week they ignore every character development they've done through the entire season. They're like, no, everything's okay now. And then the next one, it's all turned and everybody's fight. It's so weird. It's not well written. I feel awful for Owen Wilson.
Don't feel bad.
And thankful that Mark Maron is trying to hold it all together and doing what he can.
Don't be upset that he's.
But you got Timothy Olyphant this week was the big guest star. So
I like him.
So we'll see. That's all the stuff. It's been a slow watch week.
Okay. Before we go to the spoilers, before we dig into the movie has, as of right now, brought in $221 million worldwide. Domestically, I believe it's at like 122. It is already surpassed Blue Beetle, which had 130 total.
It's tough.
Million.
It's a tough one to overcome.
Shazam! Fury of the Gods had 134 and change total.
Mm-hmm.
The Suicide Squad had 168. Wonder Woman 1984 had 169. I believe these are just their first weeks.
So two of those,
okay,
just to be fair, had simultaneous HBO and theatrical release. Actually, I think three of those.
Well, the last one
Shazam should have.
The last one it passed was Birds of Prey, which brought in 205 its first.
So Birds of Prey released, I believe, the first week in March in 2020.
That might be it.
It was in theaters for like a week before the quarantine. Obviously,
we're going to have differing views on this movie as we get into the spoiler part of the movie.
That never.
But it's got a strong box office. Now, the big thing with this is going to be what's next week's box office. Is it going to do a nosedive, or is it going to sustain itself? Because it had like I want to say 250 was the budget.
But it has hit its budget. It was like a $225 million budget. Okay. It got to 256, I think you said.
But I believe if I read correctly, for it to quote unquote make money, it has to come up somewhere between 5 and 7 because of all the extras.
They spent a lot of money on marketing.
They spent a lot of money on marketing. They're still spending money on marketing.
So it's not expected to do great overseas.
It's not doing great overseas right now. It's not doing well in China. They don't care about Superman.
No, Superman is primarily an American recognized hero. He is a globally recognized, but American money earning. The top earning territories for this past week was the UK with 9.8 million.
Yep.
Mexico, Brazil, and then Australia with 5.3. It bombed in China, 6.6 in its opening weekend. Meanwhile, Jurassic World Rebirth opened with 25 million in China.
Let me see.
And Jurassic World Rebirth is currently at 529 million.
Oh, I mean that's a juggernaut.
And F1 at 400 million already.
As of this, so I'm looking at Box Office Mojo, and domestically it's done 122. Internationally, it's done 95. I mean, 95 isn't bad, but when you look at, like you said, Croatia, it did 150,000. Colombia, it did $7. It looks like.
F1 has 257 million overseas.
One person in Colombia went to see the movie. Or if you do the exchange rate, maybe 40.
Lilo and Stitch closing in on being the first $1 billion movie of the year, by the way.
I said before that I do not think that this movie is going to hit $1 billion. I think it's going to financially make its money back. It's going to do good, but I predicted personally that Fantastic Four would probably hit $1 billion because it's got the Marvel push behind it, and it's not a reboot, so to speak. And Jurassic, I don't know if I said if Jurassic World would or not. But that's I mean, what'd you say Jurassic World is?
Jurassic World is already over 500 million.
Okay. So maybe it will.
And that's 11 days in because it dropped on July 2nd.
And now you also have to wonder, is the Fantastic Four going to eat into any of this movie
100%.
in 2 weeks? So next week, well, this coming weekend is going to be a big tell on how well this movie is going to do. Right now, it's tracking great right now, but is it going to really take a nosedive after?
Well, and it also had the Tuesday preview day, right? Which factors in. I don't know how much that factors in, but I feel like
22 million, 25 million it brought in that day.
Yeah, like that's helpful if you're only making 200. That's 10% on that extra day. Yeah.
All right,
you're like a Starship Trooper.
Let's talk about the movie. Let's do the spoilery part.
It was a better line than it deserved. No. Well, let's give overall, just for anybody that hasn't seen it first. Like, so overall, what were your non-spoilery thoughts? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you
overall
go see it again? Did you?
Without spoiling it, I went and saw it with you on Tuesday for the Amazon Prime early screening.
No evidence that we saw each other, by the way. We refused.
No. There's evidence that I went and saw. I met Kenny, one of the guys from the Discord chat that Dom so wonderfully welcomed me into. That brought tea to us and brought me to a wrestling podcast. And then I went and saw it Saturday with my son. We had planned on going, and I didn't want to get spoiled. So I'll usually kind of go early in the week by myself, and then I go with him if he wants to see it. He doesn't want to see everything. Yeah. First thing, let me get this right out of the way. Cherry Hill Movie Theater that we were in sucks. Okay. The seats were so uncomfortable. It made watching the movie not as enjoyable. I very much enjoyed the movie the second time I saw it at Woodhaven, where I could like really relax. But this seat, I felt like I was bunched up in the seat. I could not get comfortable. I fidgeted almost the whole movie. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
I couldn't like.
It felt like an AMC IMAX theater to me because they all feel that way.
I hated it. I hated the seats. The movie, the first time I saw it, I gave it a 7 out of 10. The second time I saw it, it's sitting between a 7 and a 9 for me. I really, really enjoyed it, but I see some of the issues that I'm going to talk about when we get to the spoilery part. What about you, who are a little more critical of things?
I don't know what you mean. I love everything that I ever see. Look, it's in my top 3 Superman movies.
Okay, that's positive.
Counting 3 Snyderverse movies, counting Justice League as a Superman movie.
Oh wow!
It's in my top 3.
Where does it rank? Where does it rank?
In the top 3.
Okay.
It ranks 3rd in the top 3.
Wow. Below the Justice League.
No, Justice League's like number 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Below Man of Steel?
No, it's below Christopher Reeves and below another Christopher Reeve movie. Like Superman 1 and 2, I think were both better entries for me.
Okay. No, I can't argue with that. Go ahead.
Than this one. Also, I'm also my 3rd favorite Superman in the same vein.
I also have him ranked as my 3rd favorite Superman, but I, as everyone knows, I have a man crush on Henry Cavill. He sits 3rd above Henry. I have Christopher, Tyler, him.
Right, which is the same as my career there. Look, I enjoyed the movie for what it was, and I get why so many people like the movie. I don't fault anybody for liking the movie, and I'm glad that it is getting good reviews. Let me say that up front. And I get why it's getting good reviews, right? I think for me, a lot of my issues with the movie were not the movie's issues, but the fact that we watched so much of this stuff. And I just felt like there was so many beats in this movie that I've seen like in the last year
Mm-hmm.
that I was just like, oh, okay, there's nothing new and inventive anywhere, right? And it's a comic book movie, so like I've also read quite a few comic books over the years, um, and they tend to be repetitive every couple years, the same way, right? But like a lot of the things that drove me nuts about this were like, oh, this is the same thing we just saw in Superman and Lois, and oh, this is another thing that we just saw in Superman and Lois. And oh, this is something we just saw in this other like. There's a lot of that for me. In the way that the plot unfolded in those pieces, I thought it was gorgeous. I thought the cinematography was great. It was the right color palette for what I typically complain about with all of the Snyder stuff and a lot of these things where it's just gray and hard to get through. There was none of that in this. I would give it probably in like the 5 or 6
Okay.
realm out of 10. Maybe better than people would expect me to give it, but I said I get where people would think that it's higher. Like I said, a lot of my issues with it are just because I've seen so much of this stuff and seen these same beats so many times.
That's fair. That's fair.
So to get to what those beats are and those kinds of things.
Now we do it.
Now let's hit spoilers. And anybody that has not seen it yet that wanted to get our overall views and early views, that's it. Now we're gonna hit spoilers. If you are listening to the podcast, I do put timestamps on the podcast. Excellent. And maybe they hit the YouTube. I don't know. When we talk about what
you have to do it in YouTube. For this one, I'll go in and I'll do it.
Yeah, I don't do chapters, but I do put in timestamps so you'll know when we start talking about other stuff. So,
okay.
I know you have thoughts prepared even.
I do. I don't normally take notes during stuff, and I thought about taking notes during the second viewing of the movie, but I didn't want to kind of ruin it for my kid, who absolutely loved it. And when I say kid, he's 22. So I took a page out of another reviewer that I watched that Dom kind of has had me touch base with. Zach Milne Talks Movies. Great guy. I watched Dom's review. It was great. I watched our friend Kenny's review. It was really good. And I watched Zach's review, and Zach broke it down into like what works, what doesn't work. And I kind of took that format so what worked for me in the movie. Okay. David Cornsweet worked for me. This is a Superman that we haven't gotten in such a long time because of the color palette, because of the brighter tones. He was a little bit more naive. We got a Superman that's 3 years into his career as Superman. So this is a Superman that wants to do nothing but protect life at all costs. I mean, the man rushed a squirrel out of the way. Okay. I thought he, as a Superman, and his displeasure at when they killed the kaiju or the Pokemon or whatever it was. I appreciate that. I think that, excuse me, I understand one of your sore points was there wasn't a lot of Clark Kent in this. I didn't have a problem with there not being a lot of Clark Kent because it was more focused on Superman. And since he's been there for 3 years, we really don't need a lot of Clark Kent yet, because you probably had that in the first 3 years, more Clark Kent than Superman. I don't need to see him first come into the Daily Planet. I like that he's already established there.
Agreed. Let me just on that one. Right?
That's fine. Go ahead.
Obviously, that's reacting to my saying that part. I think my issue was, and one of the best parts of Superman, like unless he's out and has no secret identity anymore, right? One of the things that makes him so interesting is the dichotomy of Clark Kent versus Superman, right?
Yes.
And And I think the frustrating part for me is every time he was Clark in this, he was either dressed as Superman, being Clark, like the scene with the monster in the background with the Justice Gang fighting him off,
It's
which
hilarious.
was it was so distracting though. Like a really hard moment that Lois looks out the window every 5 seconds up. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But then when he's talking to Pa, like that was great, and that was a Clarkish moment. But I mean, they set him off with the change in the message from Krypton, right? Where it kind of hurt. We didn't get as much of the Clark stuff as I wanted with that. And then when he's being interviewed by Lois, and we would have gotten to see that relationship, it was him as Superman being interviewed, not as Clark. And the only thing we got about Clark was like Lois being like, "Oh, you're an awful writer," in front of the entire staff. I'm like, "What are we doing?"
I loved the interview part, and I really, really hope that we get a deleted scene with the entire interview. Apparently, there's a moment in that interview that I was just read this quick interview with Cornsweat where he was so wrapped up in the character, and she was being such a good Lois Lane that she caught him off guard in character with a question, and he went, "Oh, F you," like dropped the whole word.
Yeah.
As Superman in the interview. And it was a moment where he was like, I was so attached to the character, and they laughed, and something else I thought really worked that I don't know. I think you're not as thrilled with the dog stuff. I thought the dog was just enough of the dog to not be overwhelming. I understand that they made the dog super, super intricate to the movie, and I'll go to the chat in a couple minutes. I thought I do understand that if the dog wasn't in the movie, the Earth would be destroyed. I get it. We would not have a planet to live on if it wasn't for the dog. I appreciated, obviously by the shirt, all the dog stuff. I'll let you counterpoint that.
Not a dog person.
Fair enough.
That's like the being not a dog person, the fact that like the movie wouldn't have functioned without Crypto through the whole thing was problematic for me.
Yeah.
And that Superman like couldn't have done anything without his cousin's dog being there.
Well, we didn't even know it was his cousin's dog yet.
Yeah, which again, like, that's fine, but like, yeah, the dog hurt me with the whole thing.
Okay.
And especially as you get towards the end, it's like, oh, well, only because Crypto's there did we win? Okay, great.
Well, I thought Rachel was an absolutely awesome Lois Lane. I thought she really took what they gave her and she made that character her own. She kept the hard-hitting journalism. She kept the quips. What I like about this Superman and Lois, Clark and Lois, is that at this point in their relationship, they're unsure, and that this isn't if you go back to Man of Steel, right? He meets Lois Lane. Instantly, that's his life.
Right.
My whole life is you. You are my life. You are my touchstone to humanity, and I can't survive without you. This Superman doesn't have that devotion to Lois yet. So like his driving force wasn't Lois Lane, which is where Superman does get to at a point. And I like the fact that they did not start this Superman off at that point in his relationship with her. I thought that was a very good point for them to start off. As far as the Justice Gang goes, you'll counterpoint in a second with this. Guy Gardner was great. Excuse me. I thought he was great. He's supposed to be that way, right? He's supposed to be an asshole.
He's a dick, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's a Red Lantern now, so.
Oh, geez.
Which Red Lanterns, for anybody that doesn't know, those are the ones that are powered by rage.
Right. That makes sense. I loved Mr. Terrific. I thought he was more or less the standout, breakout character of the movie. As great as Superman was, he was like the quiet second star of the movie.
Yeah, and I mean, look, he's the one that got the end credits scene. Which
He did.
so it's tough for me with everybody that's like, oh well, this is the most comic book kind of movie. Like Mr. It's not the same guys from the comic books. Like I don't like the stuff that we play for laughs, and I think that's one of the hard parts, right? Like some of the jokey stuff is James Gunn
Yes.
can't help himself.
Yes.
Like the garage door that opens slow. Like okay. Like that was there, but that also like undermines Mr. Terrific at the same point,
Right.
which was frustrating for like because like in the comics, like he's seen at the level that we talk about Tony Stark in Marvel.
Right.
Right. He's the third smartest man in the world is his claim to fame. And I didn't get that as much as I wanted to from. I thought this take on the character, the guy did a great job, and I'm not going to even try and butcher his name. But I thought he did a great job with what he was given and the way the character was done. That took me a couple days to get to because it was so removed from the like perfect kind of Mr. Terrific that they portray in the comics, and he's got this holier than thou and smarter than everybody mentality, so they definitely watered down that part of it from where he sits in the comics. Like so just a very different take on it.
You made a comment to me, I think we said it, his name's Edie Gathegi. That's the actual pronunciation. I had to Google the phonetic. I think I asked you after we saw the movie, was the vocalization and the speech better in the Arrowverse for that character? Personality, I guess. The guy that played him in the Arrowverse spoke, and I believe that's what you said, is he spoke more techie. He was very much more tech driven in his conversation.
Yes.
And this guy wasn't so much tech driven as he was just kind of a regular guy that's just really, really, really smart.
Right. Which isn't the Curtis Holt character. Right.
Gotcha.
But that's okay. James Gunn. And this is a very James Gunn take.
Right.
Right. Like this is, I would expect like this movie's not that dissimilar from the Guardians movies. Like it's right. There's Rocket Raccoon and Guy Gardner, the one that talks a lot of shit and and is a little bit foul and this, that, and the other thing, but will go and do the right thing when they're supposed to.
Right.
You got the plucky girl that's there and not super greatly written.
Well,
at least in the first one, that will go and kill a dictator.
I'll get to her in a second. What else worked for me? Nicholas Holt knocked it out of the park to me. I'm not going to call him the best Lex Luthor that's ever been on screen because we don't have that big of a sample size of him. He got decidedly more unhinged as the movie went on. He went away from cold and calculating Lex the way he started off when he went to the Ice Fortress, and he was a lot more calculating. By the time Crypto beats his ass in his little hover box, he was a completely unhinged lunatic at that point.
He unraveled fast transition in 48 hours.
It was a very, very fast unraveling. I think as an actor, he completely nailed it. As a character, I got to see where they're going to go next, because you already introduced your big super brain villain and you already put him in jail in one movie.
Yes. As opposed to letting him get away and do the thing, or like what you usually would get in non-huge event things is Lex has somebody else that takes the fall.
Correct. Lex would not have been there in that moment, but Lex being there in that moment also showed his dedication.
Yeah, look, and there was a lot of stuff in this movie that, and I'm sure James Gunn couldn't help himself, that is very reflective of the world we currently live in, which was a little bit glaring at times. And I feel like that even, and look, it's not like the movie was filmed in the last 6 months.
No.
However,
2 years.
It was very predictive of a lot of things.
It
and a
was.
lot of meltdowns and those kinds of things that we've seen in the last couple, which is,
Um,
um,
the last thing that I have, and the what didn't work for me will be a lot shorter. The last thing that kind of it worked for me and it didn't work for me at the same time. I loved his parents, but I think he, for lack of a better word, dumbed his mom down a little too much. I think they were great as not famous actors playing farmers, but
see,
they
he's
were,
still the guy in Identity to me.
huh?
So the guy playing his dad is still the guy from Identity to me every time.
I didn't have that, but I still felt I really appreciated the fact that they were kind of down home country bumpkins, but I think they really country bumpkined his mom way too much.
Yeah, she was Edith from All in the Family.
She kind of was. Yeah, that works. But I loved that they were more down to earth parents like that. The stuff that didn't work, Hawkgirl didn't work for me. I love her as an actress, but he didn't give her anything to do except scream and make some smarmy comments.
You can't get away from her.
Well, yeah. I don't like the way they introduced Metamorpho. I thought that felt a little rushed.
Yeah, look, I think, and I love Metamorpho. I was a huge fan of the Outsiders comic books, which were from the 80s and ran through before they brought him into the Justice League with Justice League International.
Right.
When they brought him, when he first started out just as the Elemental Man, and there was a lot of nods to Metamorpho throughout. Right, and you got to see Sapphire Stag, who we left out that's who it was that we got to see.
Right.
She is a big character in the comics. He just got relaunched in the comics recently, Metamorpho, with like a new kind of extra cartoony kind of thing. But he has like he's had his own run multiple times throughout there. Simon Stagg, who's like Justin Hammer kind of character.
I swear I heard that name in the Creature Commandos cartoon.
Yeah. Well, Stagg's a big deal in the comics.
Okay. I know. I looked him up.
But he's a big deal in this too, because we went to Stag Enterprises a bunch of times. That's where he holds up.
Right.
Where Superman goes and holds up, and the Justice Gang comes to find him.
Yep.
Was in the Stag building, which is, playing back into the Metamorpho of it all. But yeah, Pa Kent, look, he was in a lot of stuff. So like,
well, no, I mean, but he wasn't. He's not the stature of a Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner.
No, but he's like I said, he was
playing Pa Kent. This guy was Pa Kent playing Pa Kent, more or less.
Yeah, I like I said, I am totally sucked into him from
right
Identity still, which I saw in the theater 100 years ago, and it blew my mind. So
to clean up the rest, I thought the second act was really stuffed, and it kind of felt like it was going a couple different ways, and he didn't really have a lot of focus on what he was doing there. And then by the finale, he kind of reined it back in and got it going.
What about Jimmy?
Jimmy was absolutely awesome. Making Jimmy a stud is great. Great.
That was apparently that happened fairly recently in the comics. There was a one-off series that they did that. I think it's in A Man for All Seasons. Is the run that they did that in.
I think Millie Alcock's going to be a great Supergirl.
You're excited for the drunken train wreck of Supergirl?
Train wreck. It's like going to a rocket show in the early 2000s. I've seen it before. I'll see it again. And as far as Ultraman goes, I think you burned him early. I think you burned that character.
Well,
early.
Also not Ultraman. Let's be clear.
The real Ultraman.
They named him Ultraman, right? Which is a character from the Criminal Syndicate, which is from Earth 3, which is where the villains took over, the criminals took over the planet, and there are mirror images of the Justice League.
Gotcha.
So let's and that there's actually Forever Evil, which was a huge comic run where they did some major. I mean, DC resets everything every couple of years, but the Crime Syndicate was a big deal in that. But they have they have their Superman, they have a Wonder Woman, they have a Batman who's an I think it's Owlman. They have a Flash, who's Johnny Quick character. They have a Green Lantern who's Power Star. Like they have bad versions of all of the big Justice League.
I think I played them in the Lego game.
Yeah, they were in the Lego
They
game.
played them in a Lego game.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add before I roll back into the comics?
The
Or the
comments.
comments.
Look, everything else is nitpicky for me.
Okay.
And we did have a comment the other day when and Dom was asking us what we thought.
Right. That's what I wanted to go back.
About the Krypton message.
Oh, yeah.
So like
that was the other thing I forgot.
I feel like that was a plot device that they're going to wave off in a future movie.
I don't think they are. I think that's gonna say I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, well, it makes it tough with all of the Krypton stories going forward. Like, for instance, Supergirl's there. She was old enough when she left to know that they were all dicks on Krypton then.
Right.
And to know what they were supposed to. So she just didn't mention it to her cousin?
Maybe not because
let him think that he was supposed to be a good guy, but no, he's supposed to take over. Like,
I guess we'll see when her movie comes out.
Like, yeah, I mean,
maybe she does at some point say something, or maybe she feels guilty.
Maybe it's just that message. Like I said, that felt like it's a plot device for this movie that we're going to retcon later on when it's convenient to retcon it.
Hashtag 4L.
And then the robots I thought were all over the place. I get it was a way for James Gunn to put in a bunch of his buddies.
Yeah,
because it was Michael Rooker and Palm Clementif and Grace Chan. It was a bunch of Marvel people basically.
It was
Alan Tudyk. And but in one instance you're like, oh, we're all a joint consciousness and we don't see humor or have emotions. And then she's like, oh, he looked at me. I'm like, wait a minute. So do you I don't understand.
One of the guys in the flying suit that he laser beams was Michael Rosenbaum.
Yes, Michael Rosenbaum has the line.
Yes.
When they're putting Eve Tessmacher away in the little pocket dimension. What did you think of the pocket dimension and the random white Martian that he had running the pocket dimension?
I don't think that was a Martian. I don't think that was a Martian. I think that was a clone gone bad. From what I was reading, it wasn't a Martian.
But he mentioned
maybe it is
white Martians right before they cut to the white Martian driving his train.
Okay.
That looked like the what we've gotten from the Martians.
I didn't have a problem with the pocket dimension only because they prefaced that there's metahumans for the last 300 years. So I'm okay with the pocket dimension, and it collapsed for the most part, at least in that spot.
Yeah.
But real fast, Dom asked, after this movie, how do you feel about the direction of DC, or do you need another movie or two? I said before, on the podcast, on the stream I did with Dom and Zach and T, I think the universe is in good hands, but who he casts as his Batman, it's not Robert Pattinson, who he casts as his Batman and his Wonder Woman to complete that trinity is going to go a long way in how much time and how much runway he gets. If you cast the bad Batman, a guy that just can't get it, or that, and you don't cast a good Wonder Woman, you're not going to have that much of a runway to make stuff.
I need to see what he lets other people do with it first before I make it. Before I say, like, the direction of DC, like where it is right now, it's fine. I'm not like as evidenced by this conversation, right? Like, I'm not blown away, and just because I didn't mention it earlier, I thought Rachel Brosnahan was in a very, like, probably tied for my number one Lois.
Okay, that's pretty high praise from you. I haven't thought about that yet.
Look, it's tough because I thought Bitsy Tulloch took out Margot Kidder for me.
Yeah, I had her up high too.
And I feel like Brosnahan held her own with Bitsy.
Yeah.
Which is tough because I thought that show was the closest that I've gotten to the Superman and Lois that I've wanted for the last 40 years of anything that we've done, which is, again, why it's so hard for me to enjoy this movie, because we literally just saw that wrap up 6 months ago. Or if it was even that long ago.
Chris asked about the hypno glasses. I didn't have a problem with the hypno glasses. It actually makes a lot of sense as long as I don't see someone through the hypno glasses. I don't want to see.
I feel like that was another. That was something that felt to me like something he told Guy to fuck with him. 100% is what that felt like to me. That he told Guy
Maybe.
that to mess with him. I know James Gunn likes to do interviews and give away all of his secrets, but like that one felt to me like, because when Guy's saying it, you're like, this guy's an idiot, right? Like, no, this guy's an idiot.
Look, if it really is hypno glasses, that's fine. I don't care. It really makes a lot more sense. I did notice the way he inflected his voice as Superman. It got a little deeper. As Clark Kent, it was a little lighter. That's something that they always do. That's always been done.
Yeah, that's what I didn't get to see. I didn't get to see that difference, right? Which is what like Christopher Reeve and Tyler Heckman did amazing.
Yes.
You felt like, oh, I'm Superman. Watch this, and you got to see that change. And like, I didn't get Clark was a different guy, because when he was in the Superman suit and he was talking to anybody, he was just as whiny as when he was Clark.
Talk like this.
Yeah. Thanks, Christian.
The Peacemaker cameo was fun. I had fun with the movie. I want to see, like you said, what control he lets. Like Kevin Feige obviously has, this is where you're going. This is what you're allowed to do. This is not what you're allowed to do. What's he going to do?
I'm intrigued with that.
What's James Gunn going to do? He didn't direct Supergirl. He didn't direct. I don't think he's directing.
He's not directing Clayface. I think Clayface is fairly removed from everything else. Just a couple other things from the chat too before we hit that part.
Yeah.
So Dom with like we said earlier, with the Justice Gang fight in the background, right? He appreciated the "they got it" line from Soups, which I also did. It was just like, for trying to do that heartfelt thing. This is totally a James Gunn thing.
Sure.
We're like, here's your heartfelt moment. Let me keep distracting from it as we go through, instead of just letting it like breathe as a moment.
Right.
It's totally just a film annoyance of mine, and a James Gunn thing.
Can we say how wrong we were and what we thought that was?
Yeah, 100%.
Brainiac.
And Chris says Luther's still alive. He's incarcerated by inferior rooms, and humans don't break out. He will, but that's now. Where do we get that he's now being convicted of crimes, and then do we get the Luther runs for president storyline? Because then that's anyway.
Yep. There you go.
Dom asking, was it too early for the Superman clone? 100% it was too early for the Superman clone.
But the Superman clone isn't dead. It just got sucked into a black hole. Maybe that's how the face gets all screwed up.
If Crypto had been there, Crypto's the only thing powerful enough to fly out of a black hole. Unless you punch the black hole with another black hole, like I think he did earlier.
Oh, he blew his way out of it.
Oh, that's right, because his cold breath
can his way out of it.
Can overcome a okay.
Superman.
Sure. Which, speaking of that, the one thing that drove me nuts that they didn't use in this, that they could have used so many times, is his super speed, because he's really fast, and they ignored that like every chance that it could have been like, oh, all those little balls Luthers would have been going like that.
Well,
but it doesn't make it fun. And the Mighty Crab Toys, because I did have a list that we're not necessarily going to hit, of some Easter eggs and stuff like that. But the Mighty Crab Toys referenced in Creature Commandos, so not the first time that they are set up.
No, I remember that. Didn't the bride had the shirt, right?
Frank
had the shirt.
Yep.
Oh, and just again, let me pull this out real fast. A lot of people online are giving a lot of hate to Frank Grillo for not having white hair because of the continuity, because he has white hair in Creature Commandos and he does not have white hair in Superman, and he does not have white hair in Peacemaker. And he was actually filming a TV show where he could not have white hair. He had to have dark hair. He said the next time you see Frank on screen, he'll have the white hair. But I don't know why you didn't just give him a wig or something, but I mean, it's kind of doesn't really kill me.
So all right, so and he was General Flag in Creature Commandos as well.
You had mentioned that you thought he was Colonel or Lieutenant.
I knew it was above, but I didn't remember where we were. Yeah, that was the Crab Joys piece. Look, the punk rock thing was fun. Look, and the number of people that thought they were punk rock when like Green Day hit. Totally
Yeah,
plays into it. So I get that. We did get the one Gotham reference, which apparently is right over the bridge from Metropolis.
right there, which is in Delaware.
Um,
Metropolis is in Delaware.
yeah, based on the driver's license. Now I'm intrigued to see if we get a reference, like because now you did the same kind of thing that we referenced from Man of Steel to BVS, right? With Metropolis getting
Well,
wrecked.
well, okay, but there's a subtle difference. Superman fought all through Metropolis against another alien in Man of Steel.
Right.
In Superman, Lex Luthor caused Metropolis's destruction for the most part with his multi-dimensional
Right.
river.
With the zipper thing. Yeah.
So it wasn't Superman. And now in Man of Steel, it was 100% Superman being a careless dick and beating Zod up all over Metropolis.
Yeah. I'm intrigued to see if we see that continue as a through line, because that seems to be one that they like to keep pressing in all
Yeah,
of these
I
comic
know.
book movies anymore. Like Damage Control, right? Like Spider-Man
Yep.
Homecoming was about what happened when the Avengers, and it wasn't the Avengers' fault, but like
Right.
what lived that was.
Yep.
What else do we have in there? The stag thing we talked about. I did appreciate the random big belly and jitters drop during the one press conference thing. I was like, oh, we're keeping those. Cool.
Yep.
Um,
I like the fact that he went to Luthor Corp and not Lex Corp. And he said he definitely took that from Smallville. He said most companies don't go by your first name, you go by your last name anyway.
yeah. We did get Christopher Reeve's son made his
Yes, we did.
cameo
Yes, we did.
at the beginning, which was a nice little
He was
tribute
in
in
there a
there.
couple different times on the screen and
Yeah.
reporting that you couldn't hear him. I love that too.
And he is actually a news correspondent, so it even tied in there.
Yep.
We did get, which I didn't catch from this. There's two things that I didn't catch that were in this. Flo Crawley from the Suicide Squad is back in this, and she was Secretary Crawley in this, so clearly got promoted for. She was the one that turned on Waller.
Yep.
At the end of the Suicide Squad. So it looks like she has moved up the ranks quite a bit. So I guarantee we will see her again, and if the Waller show still happens, or whatever we get down the way. And then the other piece is in the Hall of Justice, which I didn't catch. There's a mural.
I had to see pictures of it
With the Justice Society in it, so we can see which ones we're going to not touch on. Which was a weird group because some of them are Golden Age, at least one is not.
He's going to release the pictures of that soon, but people have screen grabbed and posted them online and then labeled.
So we had Jay Garrick, which is the original Flash. We had Wesley Dodds, Sandman. We had Ted Grant, who's Wildcat.
Yep.
Gardner Grail who's the Atomic Knight. John Valor, who was the Black Pirate. Dominic Mindawi, which is Freedom Beast. Brian Kent, who is Silent Knight, who I don't remember Silent Knight, so that's got to be a super deep cut.
I don't remember half of these people.
I remember all the rest of them. They're all World War II era heroes.
Gotcha.
That were either in All-Star Squadron or in old Justice Society comics, or All-Star Comics, whichever that run was in. Then also Amethyst, which was a princess from like an off run with Gem World and kind of the DC's answer to like the He-Man She-Ra.
Gem Truly Outrageous?
No. Gem World was where Amethyst lived because she's named after a gemstone.
Oh, okay.
They pulled it into weird like Power Girl origin and a lot of it was a very bizarre run.
Gotcha.
And then they also had Paco Ramon as Vibe was listed there, but Vibe was in the JLA in the 80s, not ever in the Justice Society. So that's a weird pool that they threw in there as well. Those were the couple cameo things and like Easter eggs as far as that stuff goes. Like I said, the Jimmy Olsen one of him being a stud came out fairly recently, when they did a whole thing where like Jimmy became a fashion photographer and all of the ladies loved him, and Lois became a crime beat reporter, and the Daily Planet got bought out by Lex Luthor and closed down and all this stuff, and it was a reset in the comics at one point, where they did that storyline. So and then we got I would have loved to see more of the Daily Planet people as opposed to just like Cat as eye
Same.
candy. I don't
Same.
need more Beck Bennett ever, but um, he for the crew and getting to know them so much from My Adventures with Superman. Like
Okay.
that's how I kind of knew more of those characters than from any of the
Right.
other stuff because like I was heavy into I Superman was one of the few comics that I actually had mail delivered to my house when I was a kid.
Oh wow.
So as opposed to having to go to the comic store to buy it, it came once a week or once a month, twice a month, depending on when the stretch was. But so like that was through the late '80s. So like I remember a lot of these characters from those stretches that were in the Daily Planet, but some of them were newer than that too. Like Ron Troop, I didn't remember at all, and they didn't even introduce him. He just showed up and then was there at the end on the ship with them, on the Terrific Mobile or whatever it was.
Yep.
But I think that's most of our thoughts on Superman.
It is.
We'll see what's next. We get Peacemaker next.
Yep.
That was Ron Troop T. That's who I was just talking about. That I didn't know either, and the theater cheered when it happened. And I was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
So he was introduced in 1991, and has become a staple in the bullpen and stayed through and became a bigger player in a lot of the storylines as we went forward. So
Okay.
we'll see. Peacemaker obviously still going to be the James Gunn
Yep.
mold.
Yep.
Right, and probably very similar to Peacemaker season 1 in the temper and the tone for it. So I think we'll still get James Gunn. So I don't think we'll know what the DCU's or whatever it's called, DCU, I guess, is going to look like until Supergirl or later.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So we got at least another year before we have an idea if it's going to work or not. And I agree with you. I don't think this movie's going to end up hitting $1 billion. I think it caps out at like maybe 6. Because I think Fantastic Four is going to eat its lunch, especially globally.
I think so too. I think Pedro Pascal is going to help that a lot.
Yeah, and look, quick thing I heard about that already, that if you go see it in IMAX, when Galactus gets on screen, the IMAX ratio changes.
Oh, nice.
To like 1.45 to cover the fact that he's massive and bigger, which is pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool.
But hey, thanks as always for finding the Geek Spot.
Yes, sir. And
check out me at jackkidmusic.com. You can check out Frank and T on Wednesdays, talking all the wrestling on the Island of Relevancy. That's on YouTube, right?
It's on YouTube.
So yeah,
it will be a podcast soon.
Go check that out, and we will see you next Monday when we figure out what we're going to talk about and bring you the latest news.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.